Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's season 5, and this time we've got Mike Young from Plan B Games and Next Move Games. Gumbo Live, the #1 Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. Our special guest, as we said, Mike Young from Plan B and Next Move Games. Don't forget, Board Game Gumbo is a proud member of Punchboard Media. Punchboard Media. Check out some of our other fine members like Gaming Rules. Paul Grogan, he works full-time as a freelancer in the board game industry, creating how-to-play videos. He does game development. He writes and edits some of the best rule books in the business, does demo work at conventions, and he also hosts the Gaming Rules podcast. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Hey, hit us up on social media tonight, on Twitter at Board Game Gumbo, or on Facebook, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo, and we'll be looking for your questions in the chat. But enough blather. Let's get right to our special guest. Mike, we've been trying to do this a long time, man. Welcome to the show.
It's like a case of just terrible timing on both our halves, but it's Kesmet. We're here together now.
It is awesome. So, and you're right down the road from me in Florida, Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's all part of the SEC.
Exactly.
Hey, give us the elevator pitch. I know you've had elevator pitches many times over the years. What is Plan B Games, and how did you get started with Plan B and Next Move?
Yeah, sure. So Plan B Games is kind of like a shell. I consider it a big company, but with this we have multiple imprints. So we have Plan B Games. You know, it's for the Century series,
sure.
Century Golem. We have Next Move Games, a little game named Azul, came out a couple years ago. It won some awards, but that's our abstract line. We also have Eggertspiele, which is kind of like a connoisseur's game. You've probably seen Era before, Coimbra, Great Western Trail, some of these award-winning titles.
Got it right up here.
And then we also have Pretzel Games, which is our dexterity line. So Flick 'em Up, Junk Art, Men at Work.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this is the way I look at it. The Plan B, we're all one crew. We all work on the same projects together, but it's Plan B is like the mother, and all these are different personality children that she has. They all have mom's good looks, but they all have different personalities.
Yeah, so, Azul, the tiny little game that no one knows about, right?
You know, if I can only get it in a big box store like Target or something like this, or maybe Barnes & Noble, you know, but I'm hoping maybe we can generate some buzz for it here.
Generate some buzz. Maybe it'll have legs. Hey, it's a live show. Steve O'Rourke, the name father, helps me out. He's the producer over here. Grading papers back there in New York City, I think, Steve. Hello, all. Welcome to the Gumbo, Mike.
Thank you so much.
We've also got Mick Fitch. Mick and Starler run the Our Family Plays Games Facebook site. They're taking pictures. We lost them. They were in Texas. Now they're up there in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hopefully it's not too cold out there, Mick and Starla, but thank you for checking in. And if you're talking about, they love gateway and filler games, by the way. And if you're talking about gateway and filler games,
like half our catalog.
Mike, that's half your catalog. So what is the attraction? How is it that Next Move and Plan B just keep putting out these fantastic gateway filler games, not filler, but family weight games?
So I think there's two secrets to the formula. Number one, you have to have really good art and components. And I think our artist on board, Chris Williams, is brilliant at this because he did the pandemic art. He's done Azul's art, Coimbra's art.
He did Coimbra's art.
You know, Era. Like he's really talented. So there's a huge table presence to looking at his game because they just look beautiful. But Sophie and the rest of us, we're all relatively industry veterans. We have really well-established relationships with good designers. And with the imprints as they are, we said, hey, look, if we have a Plan B game, we want this to be like a 30, 45-minute game, good gateway game, and it helps us, you know, attract designers who are designing stuff like that, and also helps give us a mission statement as to what we want to publish. So, you know, I think that's happened. Really good art, working with really good designers. You know, the team pretties it up, and the designer makes it amazing. So,
Mike, you mentioned somebody that needs more publicity. There's a lot of great artists out there, and we can rattle off 5 or 10 names. Chris Williams. Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy is in the top 2 or 3 of all the artists that I like out there. Everything he puts out is just fantastic. And I assumed, just based on the art style, that he was European, maybe Portuguese, something like that. No. Turns out he's Canadian. He's right up there.
Yeah, he's based in Ottawa. He's full-time on staff with us, so he's our full-time artist and illustrator. And he started off doing comics, like doing Conan comics.
Really?
And then Zev, Zev Schlesinger of Z-Man, former Z-Man.
Yep.
He saw him, brought him on board, and since then, Chris's range and his range, like you can't tell one game from the next that it's him. So his range is really, really good, and the guy's humble to a fault. I talked to him the other night till like midnight. Dude, give yourself a little credit. People know who you are. You're incredibly talented, and I think that's a good fraction of our success. You got to look good.
After the show, we need to talk because I would love to get Chris on the show. When I saw his artwork for Coimbra, I actually started researching other stuff that he's done because, like you said, nobody gives him pub or publicity or credit about some of these beautiful designs he has, and he is he's so talented. Is he also doing graphic design also in some of these projects?
So he does some graphic design. I mean, we've got graphic designers. He does a little bit of graphic design work, especially with board illustrations. But he pairs with some of our graphic designers just to make sure the iconography and everything looks good. It's playable. But he's someone who studies his craft over and over and over. He was born to draw. Whenever I message him, whenever I talk to him, he's always doodling, always working on something, always a concept in his head. So I'll be glad to give you his contact info.
Well, you tell him from me. Big fan, and I love the artwork you did in Coimbra. Hey, one of the hot topics, Mike. We got our guest here, Mike Young from Plan B and Next Move Games. One of the hot topics we see all over board gaming is Disney Plus for whatever reason. Like I can't turn on Facebook, I can't go on Twitter, and somebody's talking about Disney Plus. Have you bought into the Disney Plus sensation?
Well, so I haven't yet. I said I'm not going to do this because if I had Disney Plus, I would not be on Board Game Gumbo right now. I'd probably be watching Mandalorian or some old DuckTales or something like this.
Okay, I've watched both of them tonight, by the way. DuckTales and Mandalorian. That's weird that you mentioned both of those.
I think it's like $5 a month or something like this.
$5 a month if you do the yearly thing. That's tough to beat, Mike.
It's so cheap, and who doesn't love Disney? Like there's nostalgia right there in a can. I can't think of any person who hasn't loved one Disney movie. So surprised that they're having issues on opening day because everyone wants it. Yeah,
it was a little weird. Like I was able to log on to Mandalorian. We watched a little bit of some old Mickey Mouse cartoons and a little bit of DuckTales. And then a couple of the choices that we tried to click on, it kept giving me an error message. And Disney has this, it's on their Twitter feed where we did not expect this much people hitting. I'm like, you didn't expect it? You put all of Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney and National Geographic all onto one channel for $5?
Yeah, surprise.
And you're surprised now. I don't think they're surprised.
That's been all my social media feed today. It's just, we can't do this. We can't get in. And it'll be worked out. Disney's got more money than I think God at this point.
I don't know how it is down in Florida. We're pretty cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s, lower 40s, going to get in the 20s. Mick says Lincoln is 7 degrees this morning.
I'm from the heartland, so I feel you.
Oh, okay.
So I know what it's like to get cold. Tonight's going to be a blustery 47 or something, 45. Ooh, I'm going to have to bundle up or something.
The Board Game Ambassador is here. Verla LeBaron says, hello, friends. Verla, we've been thinking about you all week. Welcome back to the show.
And what is this, Miklos?
Yeah, he goes by Miklos Fitch. Mick says he really likes the Century Trilogy.
Thank you. No, we like it too. It's a favorite amongst our family as well as.
I don't know if Mick's aware that they also have the Gollum version. I think I saw you had a Gollum version earlier, right?
Ooh, yeah. Of Eastern Wonders.
Eastern Wonders.
Mountains version. So this is Gollum 2. It's the next one in the series.
Mick, if you like that style of the art, you like that style of the theme, you can get all 3 games, right? All 3 games will be in the Gollum series.
In both Spice and Gollum, so it's really a Coke Pepsi thing, whichever one you prefer. So,
and he said he just watched The Mandalorian. I haven't seen the whole thing, so Mick, don't spoil it. But what I saw was really pretty cool.
Yeah, the trailers looked amazing, so I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Verla played Villainous last week, and it just made me want to watch all the Disney movies. Well, Verla, for $5, you can watch them all. $5 a month.
You can watch Villainous or you can play Villainous while watching this. I would be doing that.
So, Mike, what's your thought on Villainous? Have you played it?
I played. I haven't played any of the expansions.
Okay.
I like it. I can't say that I love it, but what I do love about it is that it's easy to get my wife to the table. It's easy to get my daughter to the table or friends to the table because there's accessibility in having a popular IP like Disney characters and
Sure.
villains. It's really easy to get someone drawn into that. So I don't care how good or bad the game is. I'm not going to critique it at that. If it means I'm playing a game, I'm having a great time, and that makes it easier for me to have a great time.
I'm gonna say it's a good game at 2 or 3, especially 3. I'm not so sure about higher player counts. I don't think it's really good at 5.
It seemed like it took forever at
Yeah,
4.
yeah. For gamers like us, we want it to move, right? So we want it to
A
move.
little faster or to be a little more crunchy.
Yeah.
But
And
then
5 was too slow and not crunchy enough. Now I will tell you the newest expansions, they're starting to get a little bit more crunchier and crunchier with the characters, which is good. It's keeping me interested. Heck, I'm buying them because I love Disney, and I've got a daughter who just loves Disney and loves board games. So this is so easy. I just pull it out and say, "Hey, you want to play something tonight?" And she's always up for villainous. So
yeah.
oh,
Oh, 8? Oh,
Verla said she. Okay, well, 8, no. Villainous with 8, no, just no.
I tried Scythe at 7 players once and I hated it.
I played it at 7. Now, look, we play Scythe very quickly. We finish a 4-player game in Scythe in about 40 minutes.
Wow.
So we're fast players. But we played 7, and it wasn't. I'm not saying I would ever do it again, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But this was 7 people who knew how to play the game, and we're just rolling. I could see where we problem. The board was very crowded, Mike. Oh my!
I think my issue is that I went to one of my buddies runs a game night at church and stuff like that. He's like, "Hey, come on out, come on out." So I brought some game called Azul. I remember this. I brought a game called Azul. It wasn't even published yet. And I said, "Hey guys, I want you to get feedback on here. There's a lot of non-gamers here, first-time gamers." He goes, "Well, no, I kind of told everyone we'd play Scythe." I said, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll play Scythe." So we throw Scythe on the table, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna play 7 players. Do you know the rules, Mike?" It's been like 6 months since I played Scythe. So he proceeds to go and teach us the rules over a course of 30 or 40 minutes out of the rule book, and it took about 4.5, 5 hours.
Oh,
so it was immediately after that I sold my copy of Scythe, or I gave it away, one or the other, and I swore to never play it again.
So the last time I played it, I have a little side group about once a month. We get together and it's just 4 of us, and we love Euro games. But they're big fans of Scythe, which I guess is a Euro game, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is
3/4 Euro.
Yeah. So we played it that night, our regular game night from 7 till about, I guess about 6 from 6 till about 10, and we played it 3 times during those 4 hours.
Wow. Well, you guys know what you're doing then if you guys are bringing it up that quick.
Yeah, Scythe is a lot of fun whenever people know the game. I don't mind playing with new people because I love seeing that face of.
Oh yeah, same.
You know, and Jamie talks about this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the mechanic of it's sort of that positive outcome. Like, I'm going to remove this piece off of this part and move it to here, and both of them are going to give me benefits, right?
Yeah.
It's a thrill when you do that, and it's the secondary thrill when I do that. The next time that Mike does that action, I'm going to get a bonus for free.
Yeah. Yep.
It's addicting. It really is addicting.
No, it's a hit of dopamine. You've made a good decision, and all of a sudden you're like, "Ooh, that felt good. I can do more of this, and I like this."
And so to see new players or newer players to the hobby play Scythe for the first time and have those 2 mechanics come to their to the forefront, it's like you could just see their eyes light up and they just want to play it again. So
yeah, makes sense.
This is maybe
one of the secrets to success because Scythe's a little game that's doing all right, I think.
Yeah, it's doing okay. All right, Steve says one play he lagged in Villainous at 5. The luck of the draw killed it for me, and all he could do was his Prince John impression. Well, Steve, I want to hear this Prince John impression one time. Mommy, I'm assuming that's what it is. I'm not sure what he's doing, but that's the only thing I think that Villainous for gamers, stick to 3, maybe 4 at the most, but stick to 3 and you're gonna have a good time. And mix and match and try all the different combos.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I'm interested in. I want to try the different, because there's a little bit of asymmetry to how each class plays or each.
I'll put you on the spot, Mike. Is there a character that you can't wait to see in Villainous?
Oh, so I have to say, I think my all-time favorite Disney villain Tough one. I like Scar a lot.
Yeah,
Scar
he's
was
in it.
it's an expansion, right?
Yeah, he's in it.
But we watched the live action literally over the weekend for the first time. The live action one, and it made me think that he was such a flat character in the animated series. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would probably say Scar just because I like Lion King so much.
I'd love to see Baloo and see what they could come up with Baloo.
But Baloo wasn't a villain.
He wasn't a villain, but he's gonna have to be in the game somehow. So the villain would be Hiss,
It
like
would
not
be
Hiss.
Shai Khan or something.
It would be Shere Khan. Okay, so it wouldn't be the snake. It would be that's right. It'd be Shere Khan. But I would love to see Baloo in the game somewhere.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I think that would be fun.
Jungle Book is an old one.
The Jungle Book would be good. Of the newer ones, Ratatouille is my all-time favorite Pixar movie.
Well, of course. I can only imagine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that makes sense. No, I love Brad Bird. I think Brad Bird does excellent. But Ratatouille is my all-time favorite.
I would like to see The Incredibles in there, but I don't think they're bringing Pixar into that universe.
No.
I haven't seen them yet.
Good point. So if it would be a Disney movie,
And I don't think we could put Elsa in there. Moana. I really like Moana a lot.
Moana's fantastic.
So good.
Who would be the bad guy on a Moana?
Yeah, the Moana is such a complicated one because I don't know. Yeah, I could totally see Cruella from the comments. Yeah, Cruella DeVille.
Be great. Shere Khan. Yeah, Ratigan. That was kind of a throwaway, man. The Hero 6, I guess he's talking about. Big Hero 6.
Yeah. Well, no, it's kind of like the hero version, like not villainous, but like heroous.
Oh, hero characters. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that would be interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, chat crew. Who are they missing? Yeah, I thought Ratigan was kind of a throwaway. It seems the way that they're doing these expansions is there's a really big character, like super popular,
and then, like some tokens,
sneak in a little token one. Yeah. Now I was very happy that they had Tiana's nemesis. I'm forgetting his name now. From The Princess and the Frog. Yeah. Because that is a movie. People here in Louisiana, it's very near and dear to our heart.
How cherished it is because it's such a regional.
The music is fantastic. Oh, Shan Yu from Mulan.
That would be fantastic.
I went back and I hadn't watched Mulan in a long time, and I watched it again.
So good.
I forgot how good of a villain he was.
Yeah, and we have a live action coming soon, so this you need to get the Disney people. Who is it? Ravensburger? They can get on this.
Yeah, that's Prospero Hall that designs it, and Ravensburger puts it out. I'm gonna have to talk to Chris Rollins about that. Yeah, Shan Yu. Ooh. That's interesting. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna give Steve. You know what? I'm gonna say though, as good as Shan Yu is, Cruella DeVille. That's the next. I mean, that's what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah, just a terrible villain. So
such a good movie though. Such a good movie.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, tell me about your conventions this summer. You traveled a lot.
I did. So we typically only do 3 conventions a year. Or I should say 4. We do Gen Con, Origins, Essen, and Dice Tower. And since they don't need me in Europe, most of that's handled by Plan B Games Europe. I sit that one out. So I went to Dice Tower. I think Dice Tower just feels like home for me, just because it's my backyard.
It's such a good convention,
and you're talking like 2,000 or 3,000 people. Gaming where I just have to walk across the parking lot, and I'm in my hotel.
Right.
So this is I have a lot of really good experiences just catching up with friends, just playing games. So oftentimes like Origins and Gen Con, it's a lot of work for publishers. You guys may not see it, but we're bombarded question after question after question. Demo after demo after demo. That one's a slower pace. So, I think my highlight. I'm not sure about you, but I think my highlight from the convention series, like from this year's convention series, was I think playing games with Emerson Matsauchi. Do you know?
Ooh, yeah, sure. The designer Reef and
he did Century. He's
Century, right.
Metal Gear, I think. But I think we played prototypes of his until 2:00 in the morning at Dice Tower. just one game after the other, and they're all really good, just in prototype form. So just a really, really, I just love talking with Emerson and interacting with him. He's such a nice guy. If he hasn't been on the show, you should talk to him. I guarantee you, he would do it.
He is not, and I like he's definitely on the list, and I'd love to get him on. I tried to Alex knows him really well, and I tried to hook up with him at Gen Con, but I never. I did shake his hand at Dice Tower Con. Yeah, I did meet him briefly at Dice Tower Con, but we didn't get to know each other or anything like that. So
I'll see if I can just send an email reminder or send an email invitation, like just to introduce you guys, because he's
that would be
nice,
great.
very generous with his time. He loves supporting, all types of media and all types of fans. So.
And look, the chat crew are big fans of his games. I've never played Spectre Ops, but I've played almost everything else he's
Spectre
done.
Ops is good too. Yeah.
I have not played it, but I played just about everything else, and I'm big fans of Emerson. I would love to get him on the show and visit with him. That would be fun.
He's really. I love his designs. Just simple and pure and fun.
So Sean, Mr. Sean, as we call him, Sean Jones said, "Medusa from the Rescuers." Isn't that big with the kids these days? Do you remember Medusa? She was the one that lived in the bayou on the houseboat that was had the alligators that were her.
I remember watching Rescuers Down Under from the 80s.
Yeah.
But I don't remember when the original Rescuers came out. So
the original Rescuers is way back in the 60s or 70s, and it was also set in Louisiana. It was either in Louisiana or the Florida Everglades. I can't remember, one of the two swamps. But she lived out on a houseboat, and she had these crazy. Sean, was it Polly? What they were trying to rescue? To this little kid had been kidnapped. I think her name was Polly.
Yeah, the little girl.
Girl.
Yeah. It's been a long time. But you know what? I bet you I could probably watch Disney Plus and catch up on it.
I bet it is. Medusa, not a bad one. That is a pretty good one. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest, Mike Young from Next Move Games and Plan B Games, and we're talking spicy hot games that he and I have played. How about a game that I have really enjoyed since I brought it back, since you sold it to me at Gen Con, Era Medieval Age, a game from Matt Leacock, right, Mike?
Yes. So Matt Leacock, I'm sure you guys know him. He's done Pandemic, but also
just a couple of little games here and there on BGG.
Some popular series. I'm certain that things sold millions at this point, but Era is kind of an evolution of sorts of his take on Roll Through the Ages. So he designed that almost 10 years ago or so, and
sure. Yeah.
We knew we had something special on our hands. We loved Era, or I should say, we loved Roll Through the Ages. We wanted to do something a little different with it. So roll and writes are extremely hot right now, but so we knew we had to stand out in some way. So the best way we thought of was to make it stand up, make it 3D. So when you roll, you're actually building, and that's our whole concept here is roll and build, that you're actually building your city and your state in front of you.
Got that fistful of dice that I have right there in the picture. And the coolest thing that I like about Era, the absolute coolest thing, there's a plethora of roll and writes out there. And like you said, you guys decided to plus it up, as Walt Disney would say. And instead of just being a roll and write, it's got these. Is it plastic or rubber, or I forgot what these pieces are made out of?
It's a plastic mold. Like, we actually went to a 3D sculptor and we had it plastic. It's plastic mold. I think it's just a soft plastic, so it wouldn't be too brittle. But yeah, the components look incredible, and I'm in the process of actually painting mine right now.
Oh, you really?
I'm not a miniatures guy. I've never been like a blood rage player or anything like that, but with a game this pretty, I feel like I kind of have to do it justice, and it's a nice activity to kind of wind down the evening with. So every day I'm usually just working on just one piece at a time, two pieces at a time, sort of thing.
Here's what I'm fascinated by this game. Number one, I love the chucking of the dice and building out your city, but it's I can't believe he came up with this, but it's the push your luck element of how big am I going to make my city?
Yeah.
Before I start to close it in, because you're gonna run out of rounds, and I always seem to build it too big.
Yeah, no, you're pushing because you're gonna run out of walls. You're not gonna have enough time.
I know
someone's gonna kill it early because they see what you're doing. So there's a nice tension in the game without being overwhelming. And I don't know about your plays. My plays are about 30 or 40 minutes.
About perfect.
So it's quick enough to play, and then I want to do another one. So.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about this game is we never seem to play it once. We always seem to play it back to back. I haven't done it 3 times, but we have played it back to back
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the first time you teach it, someone says, "Oh, I got."
Yeah, well, like Sean saying, roll through the ages and Legos.
Roll through the ages plus Legos. That's a great elevator pitch for it. And that's one of the things that I like so much about it, the visual appeal of seeing the city come up as you roll the dice. Now, people have to know the elevator pitch on the game is that you're going to get dice, and what they really represent are your peasant workers or your nobles
Classes. Yeah.
or your clerical part, and they're going to give you back stuff each time you roll those dice.
Yep.
But there's also a push your luck element in rolling the dice themselves also, because you've got those skulls that could come out.
Right, which serves as disasters that could hit your countryside, whether it's like disease or famine or treachery where your neighbors are damaging you. So
Chuck's in here from the Gateway and Filler Games group, the best Facebook group, my favorite one out there on the internet. Chuck runs it. Doesn't own any rolling rights yet. We've been trying to convince him to try one of them, but this is the one, Chuck. This is the one. You jump into this one. Chuck's going to be there at PAX U. He should play this at PAX U.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's what I like about this is that unlike some rolling rights, I get my own dice pool, and I get to customize it, and I get to strategize how I want to. And each person's city is going to look different than the next person. And I'm not doodling. There's something really nice and very photogenic about taking a picture of your city once you're finished. Like, you just marvel at it. Maybe I'm weird like this, but I like seeing this cool bling in front of me. So
no, I'm absolutely like that. I love seeing it. And what I'm always amazed is we all have the same pieces. We all start out with the same dice.
Yes.
No two cities ever look the same.
No, exactly. So I don't know if I told you, but a couple of things. Like the player board here. One of the common complaints that we heard is that it's just not a lot of contrast. So you can see icons on there. We do offer stickers for free. You cover the postage. So if you picked it up in retail, you probably have it. But if you've got it from a con from us, you'll have stickers which give it a really nice contrast.
I bought it from a fellow named Mike Young over at Plan B at Gen Con. So I'm going to have to get the stickers for it.
Remind me afterwards. I'll get them shipped to you.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, Jambalaya is here. Jeremy Howard says, "Oh my God, they will let anyone here. Anyone.
Don't you have a filter for the crew?
No, we don't have a.
Why is he here?
we should have a filter. No, Jeremy, you know that we love him. We love having him over here. So, hey,
I love Jeremy. Such a nice guy.
We got Chuck to try it. Chuck says he will give it a go at PAX, and we want an honest opinion, Chuck. Well, actually, if it's a good opinion, we want it. If it's not, don't.
I just want you to play it, and if you like it, great.
I like what Sean says. He says it's a fun take on roll and write, just enough complexity and a beautiful game. I've taught it to people who've never played Euro games before, and I also play it with my big Euro group.
Yeah, no, this is on the lighter end of things for my chunky Euro players, like the ones who would love to play the Lasarda games or the Pfister games, but also still not too far out of the realm for some of the Gateway casual friends, So
now they ran out of Gen Con, but apparently you have some new buildings for Era. There was some y'all are planning some.
I wish I grabbed them, but we have a little mini expansion that includes the harbor and the Great Hall. Come with a couple of unique dice and small little rules for that.
Oh, cool.
I think it's only like $10 or $12 on our web shop.
Oh, perfect.
Those got restocked recently, and I don't know if you saw this, but we have a player mat. You saw that at Gen Con, I think, right?
Yes, I saw the player mats at Gen Con.
We have a player mat now that it's available for pre-order. So if you want something to kind of just help organize the table, those are something we're offering. It should be, I think it's going to be here before the end of the year. So it might be just in time for Christmas holiday.
I could see a playmat in this game, and here's why, Mike. Because one of the key parts of the game is knowing how many pieces are left.
Yes.
Because you got to know how much time you have left to build your city.
Yeah.
And that playmat that you guys had at Gen Con, I watched a couple of demos, and you could just instantly see, right? Oh, this is the different stacks of all the different things.
Oh, okay, I see this many of this building, this many of this building, and you can gauge yourself. Yep. And
that is Era from from Plan B, right?
No, that's actually Eggert Spiele. That's our connoisseur line.
From Eggert Spiele, Era out there right now, and you can get the sticker free. Just go on the website and check that out. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Mike Young from Plan B and Next Move Games. Something about Next Move that not a lot of people know, or maybe some people haven't noticed. All of the games seem to have 4 letters or
Yeah,
four
that
four
was
things on them.
that's built into the branding of it. We wanted 4-letter titles just to kind of distill it to purity. Azul, Reef, 5211. So keep things as simple as possible because it's an abstract line. We don't want you to get too caught up in theme, just enough to give you a little taste, and then off you go.
And I got to play 5211 over at Gen Con. Somebody picked it up and we played it up on the in the Marriott on the 3rd floor in that big giant ballroom.
Oh yeah.
And I remember this game really well because I was told the instructions. Basically, the name of the game
Yes.
is the instructions of the game. So give us the elevator pitch. What is 5211?
Right. So it's a quick playing card game. Which the trick to this is that like you said, the rules are in the title. I'm always drawing up to 5 cards. I'll play 2. I'll play 1. And I'll play 1. But you're looking for plurality because there's different suits. You're looking for plurality amongst all the players. But it's a push your luck game. So if you put too many of one particular suit or one particular color out there, it will bust. And then you're just constantly reevaluating after every card's played. What should I be doing? What card should I be playing? Should I try to push my luck to get in here? So it's really, really addictive and really, really fun.
Now, take a look at those cards. I'm not overselling this. They are, chat crew, they are really that colorful on the table. These cards have the craziest looking art that you've ever seen.
Yeah, oh yeah. So, it's I don't have a super great lighting here, but you can kind of get an idea. But Chris Williams also illustrated this, and it's just crazy fun, just free flowing abstract art. I love it. It looks great, has a good visual appeal, and it's like a 15-minute game. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all.
Nice, short little game. I heard it was kind of an import from an Eastern game that had been published before.
Japan Brands initially published this. It was a small publication, I think 500 copies or something, of a game called 5 Colors. We liked it, but the graphic design on the cards were a little ho-hum. So we wanted to kind of jazz it up, and we loved the game. So we wanted to kind of jazz it up a little bit, just make it really pop, really fresh. And Chris came up with this idea, and it just looks great. I love it because it's very busy, but it doesn't look too terribly bad on the eyes. This is a fun one for families. Like my wife is not a gamer, but she'll play this 2 or 3 games in a row. So it's one that I go to, and Jeremy's right. It plays well at all player counts, and it plays differently at all player counts. 2-player and 3-player, it's much more strategic than at 4 or 5.
I've only played it at 3, so I guess I need to try it at all the different player counts. So do you see the strategy changing the more people are there?
Well, I mean, so yeah, because when it's 2, it's much more tight. I can have a lot more control of what's being put on the table. When it's at 3 or 4 or 5, it's a little more swingy, and it's still fun. And again, doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's something I can drink a beer over and snack on peanuts. So
perfect little beer and pretzels game to end the night, or to start the night when your peeps are coming in for game night, right?
Perfect to fill in any sort of any spot in my mind. So.
And that is 5211 from Next Move, right? Next Move Games. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Mike Young from Plan B and Next Move. We're talking some of the spicy games that are coming out from both of those companies. There's a tiny little game that not a lot of people have heard of called Azul, and it's on its 3rd iteration. And Mike, I'm going to tell you, I love Azul. I have not played the second one, but the 3rd one is on my list. It's going to be the first game I play at BGG Con. It's over in the Hot Games room already. They've announced it's going to be in the Hot Games room. This one looks like the most gamery of all 3 of the games. What do you think? Azul, Summer Pavilion.
I think so. I'm kind of I prefer medium weight games myself. I love Azul because it's very accessible, and this one's still very accessible. The rules over it's not very complicated, but there's a lot of gamer elements to it. So it reminds me of Century in this way, that it's easy to slide into, but the strategy kind of just opens itself up as you start playing. You're looking for combos, and it's not as, well, I should say you're doing more set collecting. So if you've seen the board, it's kind of star-shaped patterns versus squares or columns and rows. But you're looking to fill in these to get points. But then as you fill in surrounding objects like statues and windows and columns, you're going to get bonuses and get combos where if I do this, I can get something from the middle and then place that and I get this. And this is the part that I love as a gamer because I love watching combos trigger where I do this, to do this, to do this, to do this. So it really rewards like that advanced thinking. And it's nowhere near as punishing as Azul. I remember, like, I'm certain you've seen pictures online before where someone's got a whole row of negative.
Oh, yeah.
This is a little more forgiving in that sense. It's not as punishing to get negative points. You're going to get some, but it's not going to defeat your strategy.
Azul can get really mean. You know that.
No, I know. And Sintra's even meaner. Like the second one is even meaner.
No,
when it hits hard. This one, a lot less punishing.
I'm curious about this thing. I've got it soloed up there. What is lose you?
Nope. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was asking about that big tower. What is that big tower up there on the left?
So namely, we wanted a place where people can deposit the tiles. So because oftentimes people just put them in the box lid.
That's what we do. Yeah.
What this does is allows you to put them into that little tower and then dump it back into your bag when it's time to recirculate the tiles.
So instead of just dumping it into the box top.
Right. So no gameplay function, just gives it a little extra table presence, but gives you a place to store things and then to dump them when it's time to recycle the bag. And oh man, I'm loving her.
Berla just got back. She spent a week over there at Essen, and she said she loved Summer Pavilion. I can't wait to try it. One of the things that I love about the whole Azul series, and really it's a component of Next Move Games, is the fact that and Plan B Games, it's the fact that from a visual standpoint, they just look gorgeous on the table, right?
Yeah, that's part of the mission statement. It's just have like really good aesthetics, but it also has to have a good tactile feel too. Like the components need to feel right. They need to feel just the right amount of heft, just the right amount of clank and noise when I play with them.
Sure.
So like in all aspects, I'm right there with you. All those productions are just spot on. So all compliments to the design and graphics team because they really nailed these games.
Jamalaya's got a question. Can you play it solo? Is there any solo option at all?
So I don't think there's any official. I can tell you there is no official solo rules. But like I've already seen like unofficial solo rules pop up for Azul and Sintra within weeks of the game releasing. So I'm certain that someone out there in the community will. I've kind of encouraged this as an idea that we work on maybe solo rules, maybe officiate some, just because there's a huge solo crowd out there. I'm a solo player at times, so.
And that is Azul Summer Pavilion. It's out right now, right, Mike?
Actually, it's debuting this week in the U.S. If you should see in your FLGS, probably no later than Friday.
Sounds good. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Mike Young of Plan B and Next Move Games, and we're talking about some spicy games, and we've been seeing at all the conventions. And I got to play a game at Dice Hard Con with Alex Goldsmith of the Dukes of Dice called Century New World, the third one of the trilogy. I played all three of them. We actually reviewed the second one. You had sent me a copy, and
yes.
we did a review. I actually like the second one better than the first one, so I'm a little bit different from most reviewers. But the third one caught me and Alex's eye. We taught ourselves the game in 15 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed everything. Even the tiny little meeples were kind of cool to play with. They are tiny, though, Mike.
They are. I'm not on that.
Really tiny.
I saw them. I call them teeples for tiny meeples because they're
right.
They're little, thin, skinny guys, but yeah, I think Verla's just nailing it in the chat. Like, it takes the same core elements of each of the Century games: trading for goods, upgrading your goods, and takes that really simple premise, but it puts variations on a theme. I'm doing a hand builder. I'm doing point-to-point movement with deliveries, and now I'm doing worker placement. So it surprised me because I'm with you. I like 2 more than the first one.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm not alone then.
Like 3.
I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm the only person that likes 2 better than number 1.
I think you and I are 2 peas in the pod because everyone I talk to loves 1, and that's great. And a lot of people love 3, but 2 really I love that. As a gamer, there's all this perfect information. I can control my destiny. So But New World is
The thing with 2 is I love looking at it, and it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while you see this little combo and you go, oh my
yes,
God, I could do
yeah,
this to do this to do that, which
yeah,
which is the element from the first one. But
yeah,
to see it in that visual representation of moving your stuff around, it just makes you feel clever. And I love that in games. I love when you get that feeling.
yeah. No, and so I mean, that's perfect in 2. That's the thing I think I love most is just finding that. And then in 3, the worker placement element. Just I love worker placement games, and
Yes.
I need something other than Stone Age to introduce to my friends because as much as I like Stone Age, it's just so. This is a perfect replacement for it for like my first worker placement game.
The other cool thing, and I've got the solo picture up there, is Alex and I had a good time trying to figure out when is going to be the time to flip up those tiles, when is going to be the time to add more meeples and allow somebody else to get their meeple back. It's got just some fun decisions as you break out the board, and I can feel like if there's anything that I wasn't a fan of on the first one, is that I just felt like after a couple of plays, I wasn't sure there was much more to dig into. With 3, I really feel like there's a lot to dig into, and then you have the option of putting all 3 together.
Yeah, well, this is the crazy thing is that Emerson, as a testament to his design philosophy, found a way to integrate all these games in every fashion. Like there's 8 different versions of Century if you put all the combinations together, and they all play surprisingly well. Like I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be bloated. It's going to be terrible. No, it takes an extra 10 minutes to play, and it's a similar but different experience.
Mike, there's somebody you need to talk to. Dr. Finn is over there in the chat crew. I don't know if
Oh
you've
my
played
god,
any of Dr. Steve Finn's games, but
yes.
that's the guy you need to talk to. He's thinking about getting out of the self-publishing business and just going to publishers like you guys with his games and we need more people to see his games
Oh no,
out there in the wild. So I don't know if Dr. Finn has played any of the Century games, but I love all 3 of them. I think 3 is if I'm going to rank them, I'll probably go 2, 3, and 1, or 3, 2, and 1.
It's tough for me, but I would say probably 3, 2, 1, but 2 is a really really close second. I mean it's right there with me.
And that is Century New World. Anything? So I'm assuming Century New World is also going to get the Gollum treatment.
Yeah. So when we announced doing a sequel to Gollum, we knew we had to bookend it with make it a trilogy as well. So many fans wanted it, and believe it or not, we actually actively listen to our fans, and we may not always give them what they want right away, but we're listening, and if it makes sense, we'll do it. Well, we knew we had to do it. If we're going to do Gollum 2, we have to do Gollum 3 and just make the trilogy. So I would expect that probably announce it officially in the spring, but you'll probably see that either at Origins or Gen Con, if I had to guess, next year.
So can we start a new rumor that just like George Lucas, Emerson's going to come in with episode 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to have another trilogy for Century, or is this it?
This was my original idea. When I heard that we're going to do the Golem series, like we said, okay, we're going to do 2. I said, guys, what we need to do is make 2 different games, so that Century 1 and Golem 1 are the same, but they do different things as they go into the next series. So Golem 2 would be different than Spice 2. So that there would be reason to have all the games because of different experiences. But
Sure.
I think Emerson was already exhausted with all the stuff that he's publishing to tackle yet another trilogy. So maybe one day, maybe we'll get a director's cut, maybe 10 years, 20 years after release, we can get him to come back to it.
We might see that down in the future, a little director's cut, bringing back some of that Century spice, Century New World flavor back in there. That would be interesting to see. Sean says, Mick says he really wants to try to put all 3 together for the big game.
Yeah.
And then Sean says it's not really as big of a game as you think. It plays smooth. So Emerson's done a good job of putting the 3 games together.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, again, from my own testimonial, I thought, oh god, this thing's going to be bloated. It's going to be terrible. No, it's testament to Emerson's design. It's really really simple, not heavy at all.
Well, that is the beauty of getting out there to BGG Con. We can do stuff like that. We can I don't always have time like you. I've got a family. You got work. You got the wife works, and I don't always have time to break out a big thing like that. But a convention is a perfect time to put together three big games. And how long does it play when you put all three games together?
Less than an hour. Like most of these games, I think independently take about 30 to 40 minutes. This takes about an extra 10, maybe 15.
And that is Century, a new world that is also Plan B, right?
That is Plan B, yep.
That's going to be from Plan B. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest here, Mike Young of Plan B and Next Move Games. Mike, it's a board game show. You know what that means.
All kinds of awesome games.
We got to play a game. That's right.
I'm in.
We got a little game that we like to do over here. We call it the Envie game. It's presented tonight by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Upgrade your gaming experience, Mike, with Game Toppers LLC. You've played on those. By
the way, those are. Have you?
I've got one at home.
Do you really?
I love it. We use it for our live broadcast of the Southern Board Game Fest. We do the entire convention is broadcast on that table, and of course, I have it at home for the rest of it. So,
yeah, no, I love them. I think they look fantastic, and the quality's like super good. So,
this is such a good guy, right?
Oh yes.
All right, Mick, that's right. It's time for the Envie game. So, Mike, you've been thinking all episode a game. We use the Cajun word envie. It means a jonesing or a hankering. What would you say in Indiana? You'd say a hankering or a jonesing? I think it would
be hankering. I think that'd be the Hoosier saying.
Yeah, Hoosier saying, right? Steve says they say jonesing up in New York. So, but down here in Louisiana, we use Cajun words, and our word is envie. It just means something that we really want to do. So if you weren't doing the show tonight and you had the perfect opportunity to play with anybody you could, what's that game? It could be a game you own. It could be a game you don't own. It could be a game that you haven't seen in a while or a game that's coming out soon. We're going to play a little game where everybody's out there trying to guess. And yeah, we've been having a lot of trouble with the swamp cast tonight. Sorry about that. Just a lot of freezing, but we're going to ask some questions I'm going to compete with the chat crew to try to figure out. So Mike, you understand the rules of the game?
I do.
And you've got your game in mind?
I have it right there in front of me. It's literally feet in front of me.
Ooh, okay, good. All right. So we start out every Envie game with the same question. So I'll ask it for you. Is it competitive or is it a cooperative game?
Competitive.
It's a competitive game. I kind of figured you for a cooperative guy, but all right.
I love cooperative when it comes to teaching the kids, and really I like to play just to play. But if I want to play a game, I want to win. Everyone wants to win. So
Jambalaya, I'm not ignoring those letters. I just think they're baseless, false accusations that we did not steal the Jambalaya game from you. And this is the Envie game, so get the game right. We're not playing the Jambalaya game. If Mike comes back on the show, we'll play the Jambalaya game with you one time. So, Jeremy, the Jambalaya game is not named after you. It's named after a very fine thing that we eat all the time here in Louisiana. But it's a fun game.
Recipe, by the way. So
I will send you that recipe. All right, so we got a competitive game, chat crew. Let's see. Let me see. Has it come out recently in the last 3 years?
No. This is older than 3 years old.
Older than 3 years.
Yeah, but I am not a what do they call it? The cult of the new. I am not.
Oh, you're not a cult of the new guy, huh?
I mean, I like playing New Hotness as much as the next person, but
that's why Steve's the name father. The next time we play the Jambalaya game, we're going to call it the Jeremy Howard game. I love that. I love that. All right. So he's not cult of the new, chat crew. It's a competitive game. It's older than 3 years. Has it won any awards?
It has won awards. I don't know what awards off the top of my head, but I know that it has won awards.
Oh, chat crew, we got some good clues here.
The box has award symbols on it.
The box has award symbols on it. Oh,
yeah.
Ignacy loves putting those things on his boxes. You look at your eyes.
Well, I can tell you, as a publisher, we like doing that too.
Okay. So. Y'all don't mind paying that little fee to the Spiel des Jahres, right? Don't mind paying for that little fee.
Well, it helps sell games. So,
is it a European designer? Steve wants to know.
Steve wants. Yes, it is a European designer. And I don't know if I should give you. I don't want to give you too many hints, but it's definitely a European designer.
German?
You might find them somewhere in the southern part of Europe.
Southern part of Europe. Okay, so Italian or Spanish?
Somewhere near the Mediterranean. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe it's Italian.
Italian, an Italian designer. Okay, let's see. The Italian
Did
designers.
you say designer?
What's that?
Did you say designer?
Italian designer?
There's two of them though.
Oh,
Hmm.
it's part of that little Italian design crew. Ah, okay. Let's see. I'm staring at Simone Luciani's games. I wonder if it could be one of those. Let me think. All right. So let's see. We got Steve wants to know if it's a Toscini game.
Yes, it is.
It is a Toscini game. That's going to be trouble because that's not in my wheelhouse. I have not played any of oh wait. No, Newton is Danielle Toscini, right? No.
I think Newton was Simone and another
one.
Another guy out of the Italian troupe.
Yeah, can we go on the side tangent? Every game I play from those guys, I just love. I love what they're doing with gameplay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna
that Italian troupe helped build Coimbra. I don't know if you know that, but that's the same group.
Sure. Yeah, I saw the names. Toscini did Teotihuacan, right?
He did do Teotihuacan. And he also had he had another designer in on that too.
Steve beat me to it. I was trying to think of the name. Is it Zolkin?
It is Zolkin.
Steve, I was about to say it. I just could not remember. You could see the wheels turn. I'm going, okay, it's not Teotihuacan.
Literally, the wheels are turning.
The wheels are turning. Yep.
The gears are turning.
So Zolkin the Mayan calendar. So Mike, what's the attraction between you and Zolkin the Mayan calendar?
For some reason, I've always liked the Italian troupe, and when we published Coimbra last year, it just kind of got me.
My game of the year last year, by the way.
What's that?
My game of the year last year. Yeah, wow. Absolutely. Yeah,
that's high praise. So, thank you. But like it got me back into looking at that Italian troupe because I love them. So I played Teotihuacan this year and absolutely loved it, and went back and I love Zolkin. Like I've had Zolkin, but I haven't played it for a while, and I got the expansion, so I've been jonesing big time to play Zolkin again.
You have the Envie, right?
You have the Envie.
So I haven't got to play Zolkin yet. Both times that it's been played at our Gumbo game night, I just showed up late and they already jumped in. But I played Teotihuacan 2 weeks ago, and it's got my favorite thing in Eurogaming, where you pull a lever and then things go click, 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 and something spits out in the other end. To me, all the Vital Lacerda games that I played, they have that. You pull a lever and other things happen. As Vital said, when you play Lisboa, it's just play a card and pick up a card, right?
It's just that simple.
It's just that simple. But that's what I found with Teotihuacan. It's like the game itself, although it looks intimidating, really the mechanics are very simple.
I don't think it's all that hard. No.
It's the fact that you have to think through what the mechanics do every time you do one.
It's exactly. It isn't the decision tree. The decision tree is narrow, but it's the implications of your decisions, right?
But yeah, I really enjoyed Teotihuacan. So if Zolkin is anything like that, I'm gonna have to play it.
They're so often compared just because they have that Mesoamerica shared theme. But it's really, really good. It's one of my favorite worker placement games, and I love it because there's a temporal aspect to the game. You place a worker, and over time your worker is becoming better, kind of like Teotihuacan.
So Steve, did Toscini also do Marco Polo?
Simone did. Yeah, I think they both did. I think that was another pair for them.
Oh, what a good game! A good game. Love Marco. I'm terrible at it, Mike.
I helped import Marco Polo, so.
Sure.
I did some of the localization work on that. It's really good.
It's the Envie game, not the Seanvie game. We're not saying Sean in there, Sean. So don't send me a fax about your name. We're not doing that. Hey, we got Jesse checking in. Jesse's late, but hey, Jesse, you missed the Envie game. We already guessed it. Steve got it, and it was Zolkin the Mayan calendar. So congratulations on that one. And that is the Envie game brought to us by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Make your game nights a showstopper when you play on a Game Topper. I came up with that one myself.
Did you really?
Yeah. Hey, we have somebody else to show. Hello.
Yeah, I know. My wife keeps on popping her head over here.
I love it. Tell her to come say hello. It's a live show. You're talking to millions of people out here in board game land. Thank you for letting us borrow Mike tonight. I appreciate that. All right, so that's our game Envie chat crew. Steve was the big winner tonight with the Envie game of Zoken.
Steve said that he was splitting the prize with me. So should I just message him after the show? Or
Exactly.
okay.
So, Mike, what's up next for you? You're done with conventions, I think, for the year. Or do you have anything else?
No, we are not attending PAX or SN, or excuse me, PAX or BGG Con. So I am in for the rest of the year, bunkered down in a very brisky, again, 40, 50 degree Florida. It's a little chilly.
You're only 10, you're less than 10 hours away from Southern Board Game Fest right here in Lafayette. All the jambalaya, all the fried crawfish po' boys you can eat.
No one sends me the invites. When is
Oh, so he's saying there's a chance, Steve. That's all I'm hearing. So you're saying there's a chance. I will definitely send you an invite. We would love to have you spend the weekend, drinking some Abita root beer, having some jambalaya, having some gumbo. That's what we do. And we play board games in between.
That's up my alley. Let me know. Let me know.
That's all. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guest, Mike Young of Plan B / Next B Games. You guys are killing it with your games. Keep up the good work, Mike. Always love visiting with your conventions. I'm so glad that we got to finally work this out where we got to talk in person. This was nice. How can people reach you if they want to talk to you about board games?
So easy. So I run all of the social media for us. So you'll find us on Twitter. You'll find us on Instagram. You'll find us on Facebook. That's the one I like the most. Don't hesitate to just drop a line onto any of those platforms. I'll see it. It comes out on my end. But if you have any specific questions, maybe a CSR, or maybe you're just curious about something, maybe you want to submit something, blah, 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 Mike at planbgames.com, easy enough. But I'm pretty active in several Facebook groups, so if you ever see me, don't hesitate to message me or to send something over or just tag me. And I'm a gamer at heart and a publisher second, so I'm always down for talking about games and having fun.
Mike, let me give you a kudos. You are definitely involved in the Facebook groups, and not only that, it's not just about Plan B Next Move. You talk about all games, and you're very welcoming to everybody. Keep that up, man. We love having that in the industry. You're one of the good guys, man.
I appreciate it.
Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. It helps us to get the word out about all of our upcoming guests and shows. I am BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and until next time, Mike, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Have a great evening.